Hello, everybody. Hello, YouTube. Hello, art history enthusiasts and visual culture aficionados. It's me again, Miss Sam, and I'm back with yet another video. This time we're doing a little rum break. Hooray! We're doing a little rum break. Yeah, I just felt like it. I was poking around, had another kind of semi-long, semi-exhausting day today. Then, got dinner ready, ate it, fell asleep. And here I am now. I've woken up, and a new day is starting. So, and I've got more stuff to do, more places to go, more bullshit. But, I figured why not switch this on and do a little rum break in preparation for my upcoming, Understanding the Shining installment. It's going to be part 10 next time. Recently, what have I been doing? I did my part 2 of the Denver Art Museum caper, The Laundromat. I did that Leonardo da Vinci video about the Salvator Mundi. I did the Kill Bill analysis for chapter 4. Next time is going to be chapter 5, The House of the Blue Leaves, and so on and so forth. So today we're just going to do a cute little rum break. I've done another community post. I know I said I wouldn't, but I just couldn't help myself. This is the newest one. Oh my god, it's so pretty. So darn pretty. It's called Sunset Painting, okay, from Saatchi Art. Check it out if you're interested in this kind of thing. If you need to cover up some empty space on your wall, this would be a good way to do it. This is absolutely beautiful, at least in my opinion. And while we're here, let me just get the church announcements out the way. Returning viewers, thank you for returning. New viewers, thank you for being new subscribers. All 333 of you, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it so much. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video if you know somebody who might enjoy it. And especially, I put emphasis on liking. I think you guys have been doing it, 26 views. I think there's like a good number of likes on these videos, at least for my channel, for my videos. So thank you for that. I've got 333 subscribers, and I'm wondering if like the universe is trying to talk to me. Like 333, it's supposed to be one of those, like, what do they call them? Like when you see it on the clock, when you see 1111 or 333 or whatever number repeated. It's supposed to be a message from, I don't know, what, the universe that's telling you you're doing great, you're on the right track. Hopefully. Let's hope for the best. I've got some stuff cooking in my own life. Won't talk about my own life because, some people just don't like listening to it, so whatever. It was another gorgeous day in Southern California. It was about 72 degrees today. Clear blue sky. Nice clean air, sunshine like you wouldn't believe. Very nice, very pretty. I don't know when it's going to rain again. I kind of miss it, but whatevers, right? Whatevers. Anywho, what am I going to talk about today? Now that I got the church announcements out the way, showed you my latest community post. Don't forget to follow me if you want to on Twitter and IG. Check out my Spotify if you're so inclined. It's a art history playlist. I need to do that. I need to do more of those. I did the first one and the second one, Fugazi Waiting Room, and the first one was the Virgin of Macarena. I gotta get into the new one. I think it's gonna be Metallica. Creeping Death, not sure, but it'll be something. I need to get on that. So anyway, we're here. I'm here, talking at you with a rum break. So when it's a rum break, that means a coffee break is like a whatever, Rum break is definitely Shining specific. So here we are. I was poking around. I just felt like looking some stuff. Oh, there he is. Lord. I can't get over this shot from the movie with him like laughing maniacally. This is from, I was poking around the news section of Google. I typed in The Shining and this is what came up. Like these were the things that interested me in the first 3 pages of results in news about in quotes, I put The Shining. This popped up. It's called Far Out magazine. It's, I think, based in the United Kingdom. Look at this. Oh, Lord. Look at this. This is from this week. This is from like Tuesday of this week, February 7th, 2023. The issue with Stanley Kubrick, the reason why Stephen King prefers the TV version of The Shining. I might like make this a thing. I might make Rum Breaks like weekly, like do a weekly news roundup of whatever articles that I can find that are recent about The Shining or Stanley Kubrick or whatever. We shall see, but this sounds fun. I don't know if I want to read this whole freaking... It's not very long. Oh, good Lord. They gotta put this in there. Jesus. Let me just read it. You might get a good laugh out of it. Whatever's. So, yeah, this is it. Far Out magazine, the issue with Stanley Kubrick. The reason why Stephen King prefers the TV version of The Shining. And, of course, I'm going to include the link in the description. The 1981 influential horror movie The Shining is one of American cinema's most famous novel adaptations. Okay, first of all, I thought this thing was released in 1980. What am I missing, you guys? What? They keep changing it. Is this a Mandela effect thing? Help me. Now, all of a sudden, in the year 2023, is a 1981 movie? Really? Okay. Acclaimed filmmaker Stanley Kubrick adapted horror master... allegedly. Horror master Stephen King's 1977 novel of the same name, directing a powerful cast including screen legend Jack Nicholson and the immensely talented Shelly Duvall against a brilliantly terrifying landscape. The adaptation follows relatively closely to the source material, as Nicholson's Jack Torrance moves his family to the Overlook Hotel where he plans to focus on his next novel. However, the cursed supernatural entities that haunt the building have other plans. Well, okay. And I'm trying to work around my nasally voice because of my allergies. So I put a breathe right strip across my nose. Let's hope it works, huh? The Shining is a testimony to how diverse viewer stances can dictate the response to a film, as the movie can be viewed from three positions or reasons and generate distinct opinions. First, audiences can watch the feature strictly for its horror genre leanings, which garners relatively positive reviews. The film is an unnerving experience that recruits horror codes of tension and visual scares to terrify horror fans for over 40 years, maintaining its status as a genre staple. In addition, The Shining attracted audiences upon release and so on for his directorial credits. Kubrick is a mighty name in cinema, revolutionizing the technological aspects of 2001: A Space Odyssey and introducing trademark camera shots and images such as the Kubrick stare and the one-point perspective. Okay. All right. Whatever. In turn, The Shining showcases the director's inspiration for cinematic stories residing in literature and understanding film genres as demonstrated through iconography and tones. Well, so, thank goodness they're at least acknowledging the iconography. My goodness. It is an attentive and masterfully directed picture. Kubrick's direction creates speculation about the meanings and actions in the film because of inconsistencies, ambiguities, symbolism, and alternative routes from the book. These factors cause positive reactions from Kubrick fans as it exemplifies the filmmaker's skill at executing film properties and potentials. However, the third stance a viewer can take when watching this film usually generates a negative response. A fan of Stephen King hoping to watch a faithful adaptation of one of the author's most acclaimed and defining novels is usually let down by Kubrick's adaptation, something the author himself agreed with in his dislike of the film. Oh, what a jerk. To this this article published a couple of days ago, February 7th, 2023, and this Stephen King numbskull is still bitching about this. Almost 43 years later, he's still bitching about how Kubrick wasn't faithful to his ridiculous novel. Seriously. Okay. All right. Anyway, something the author himself agreed with in his. I think one of the things that people relate to in my books is there's a warmth. They're reaching out and saying to the reader, I want you to be a part of this, King explained to the BBC. With Kubrick's The Shining, I felt that it was very cold. Looking at these people, Jack Torrance in the movie seems crazy, which is not King's intended version of the leading character. Again, I've said this in other videos, but the movie is not the book, and the book is not the movie. Period. I don't think that's so difficult to understand, but some people, I guess they have their ego caught up in all of this shit. Ooh. Jack Torrance in the movie seems crazy. Oh boy. Okay. You know what? This makes me love Stanley Kubrick even more. If that was even possible. Yeah, I guess it is. There's always more room. There's always more room for love. The author reportedly prefers, of course he does, the 1997 TV adaptation of his novel, directed by Mick Garris and starring Steven Weber as Jack Torrance, Rebecca De Mornay as Jack's wife Wendy, Cortland Mead and Will Horneff as different aged versions of Danny Torrance. King also criticizes Kubrick's version of his character Wendy. This performance was cited as one of the film's worst upon release and stemmed from the director pushing his actor to her emotional limits to obtain his idea of a perfect genre-based performance. Shelly Duvall as Wendy is really one of the most misogynistic characters ever put on film, King said. She's basically just there to scream and be stupid, and that's not the woman that I wrote about. Again, it's not about your book, Stephen. This is not about your book. Let it go, for God's sake. It's 43 years later. Stanley Kubrick is dead. Nobody gives a shit. Are you trying to sell a new book? Is that what's going on? Are they is somebody making yet another ridiculous movie based on one of your ridiculous books? Is that what's going on? Nobody will ever... Maybe this is why he's pissed. Maybe this is why he's all sour grapes about this. When people say The Shining, they never think of Stephen King's book. They always think of Stanley Kubrick's movie. Maybe that's why he's bitching about it to this day. Ooh. Does he realize, how petty this makes him look? I don't know. Anyway, let's keep it moving. In addition, the author discusses, and by the way, he calls Wendy one of the most misogynistic characters ever put to film. Again, he hasn't thought very deeply about this. What about her is misogynistic? She's only misogynistic. It's only a misogynistic character if you yourself, the person looking at the character, watching the movie, if you yourself are a misogynist. That's the only way she's a misogynistic character. Stephen. Ooh. You're not very bright. Not very bright at all. She's basically there just to scream and be stupid. I guess, murdering her husband, putting him, ooh, busting his head open with a baseball bat. That's stupid. I guess. Yeah, if you're a misogynist, I guess it is. Ooh, Lord. Let me just stop right now before I get ahead of myself. In addition, the author discusses his stance on depicting and adapting written characters for movie adaptations, signaling a loss in the translation of genre, meaning and interpretation from page to screen. I still think... I'm sorry, not still. I think that it's still possible to scare people in a really honorable way if they care about the characters, King says. You can't be afraid, really, for the characters if they're just cardboard cutouts. What I want the audience to do is fall in love with these people, and I only care about them. You want people to fall in love with Jack Torrance? Really, Stephen? Okay. He adds, that creates the suspense that you need. Love creates horror. Okay. Wow. He sounds like a 17-year-old. Here. Like thinking about trying to become a writer. I said what I said. I said what I said. You care about the characters. Okay, so what is it? The author discusses his stance on depicting and adapting written characters for movie adaptations, signaling a loss in the translation of genre, meaning and interpretation from page to screen. Okay, so you could always give the money back, or you could just like stop agreeing to have your books be converted into movies, and say no to all that money, Stephen. Yeah. That's an option. It's always been an option. One that you never took. Okay, that's it. I'm done being shady. I just had to show this to you because it's so recent. February 7th. Seriously. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. But I've got 2 more articles, so I don't want this to be a boring rum break. This one is cute. It's called Yard Barker. I guess it's a lot of sports stuff, but somehow they have a article about The Shining that was updated. I don't know when it was originally published, but updated 5 days ago. Okay, cool. And then I have a third article here. Why Jack Nicholson insisted on writing this one The Shining scene. This is also from this year, a couple days ago, February 3rd, so last week. I think I might read this first. Okay, again, these people are stealing my thunder. What is going on here, Saatchi Art? Lord. And they've got like 1, 2, 3 of the paintings that I chose. And now, well, look at you. No. 1, 2. Never mind. Let me stop being all weird. Anyway, so this is why Jack Nicholson insisted on writing this one The Shining scene from the Vintage News. I don't know what kind of publication this is, but here it is. All right. The Shining is without a doubt one of Jack Nicholson's most iconic films. It is. It just is. And he's an amazing actor, but this is one of his top, at least as far as like Jack Nicholson recognition, right? His bone-chilling stare, which seems to transcend the screen, and explosive mannerisms are what make his character Jack Torrance one of Stephen King's most magnetic, timeless, and downright terrifying characters. No, not Stephen King's. Stanley Kubrick's. Okay, they got that wrong right away. Anyway, let me keep going. One of the most memorable scenes from the 1980 film. Again, see, the other one said 1981. This is, again, back to 1980. Oh, these people need to get their shit together. One of the most memorable scenes from the 1980 film was actually written by Nicholson. This is why I wanted to read this to you. It was inspired by a personal dilemma he shared with his character. Did Jack Nicholson write the explosive typewriter scene? ? Based on the Stephen King novel of the same name, The Shining follows recovering alcoholic Jack Torrance, his wife Wendy, and their son Danny. The family moves into a resort. A resort? Ooh. Why can't they just say hotel? Lord. The movie calls it a hotel. Maybe they're trying to, like, kiss Stephen King's ass. Maybe he calls it a resort. I don't know. The family moves into a resort in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado as its winter caretakers, but some supernatural force slowly drives Jack on a downward spiral of madness and murder. Directed by Stanley Kubrick, the film received mixed reviews upon its initial release, but has since become a classic of the horror genre. Okay, there they are in that car. Lord. Okay. The scene in question shows Jack, an aspiring writer, sitting at his typewriter as he struggles to overcome his writer's block. His wife, Wendy, played by Shelly Duvall, walks over to the desk where her husband is typing away. "Hi, hon. How's it going?" Wendy asks before kissing Jack on the cheek. Jack, with an annoyed look on his face, simply says, "Fine." Yep, that's what happens. Wendy asks more about Jack's writing and tells him about the weather forecast, which is an interesting detail. That's very true about that scene. She says, it's going to snow tonight. Yeah. And he says something like, "What do you want me to do about it?" Why does she... Ooh, so I can't wait to get to that part of the movie. Can't wait. Anyway, I'll read this again. Wendy asks more about Jack's writing and tells him about the weather forecast, but she is continually met with one-word answers from her husband. She tells Jack, "Don't be so grouchy," and then says she'll bring him some sandwiches soon. Jack then turns on Wendy, and in a very controlled voice, he scolds her for distracting him from his work. Nicholson acting in the scene feels like a pot about to boil over, revealing his character's volatile mental state. I think it reveals something totally different, and I can't wait. Like I said, I can't wait to get to this scene and the Colorado Lounge in general. I need to do a video just on the Colorado Lounge. But anyway, let's keep it moving, right? The scene was based on Nicholson's own divorce. Really? Okay. Nicholson revealed to the New York Times that he wrote the typewriter scene himself, using his own experience with divorce to shape the frustration his character felt toward Wendy. Nicholson divorced his first wife, Sandra Knight, in 1968 after 6 years of marriage. The couple shared one daughter together. Okay. According to Nicholson, the birth of his daughter Jennifer made him feel the pressure of being a family man with a daughter while also growing his career. Both Nicholson and his character Jack shared a similar experience with their wives, as Nicholson acted during the day and worked on writing a script in the evenings in a little corner of their home. Whenever his wife approached him while he was writing, Nicholson recalled that she walked in on what was, unbeknownst to her, this maniac. Oh, Lord. All right. Okay, he's sharing his life, I guess. I remember being at my desk and telling her, "Even if you don't hear me typing, it doesn't mean I'm not writing. This is writing." I remember that. Total animus, Nicholson told the New York Times. Well, I got a divorce. Shit. Okay. I guess this man doesn't like being disturbed. My goodness. After sharing the story with Kubrick, Nicholson's idea was written into the movie. As they were filming the scene, Nicholson reportedly imagined the arguments he had with his ex-wife. Wow. You know what? Okay, I think that's about it for this article. I'm going to leave it in the description, just like the other ones. But, to me, actually, what this to me means, I think Stanley just let him write the scene. And I think all the other stuff, like the camera work and the set and the items surrounding the two actors in the scene, I think that was all Stanley. Maybe Jack wrote the dialogue. Maybe. I mean, I'm not maybe. I guess he did, right? The dialogue, but everything else, Stanley. That's what I think. Like I said, can't wait to get to this scene. I think Stanley takes advantage of this scene and, it takes advantage of the Colorado Lounge extensively. There's something there that I can't wait to tell you about. Yes, I'm being like coy. I'm being not sneaky, but like I want it to be a surprise. That's why I don't want to let the cat out of the bag just yet. So stay put. Stay put, stay tuned. If you ride with me, you will see it. You will see it. Okay. Next article. Last but not least, this is the fun one that I wanted to save. This is Yardbarker. Like I said, this looks like a sports website, whatever. Here's the scene. 338. I don't know what these numbers mean. Help me out, anybody. What do these numbers mean on this clapper thing for the Shining? I don't know. This article is from 5 days ago. Okay. 20 facts you might not know about The Shining. Okay, let's go. Is horror a genre of cheap thrills, or can it be something more? Well, when Stanley Kubrick is at the helm of the movie, even a horror movie, it can rise to the level of being a critical darling. Okay. The Shining is considered one of the best horror movies ever by many movie fans, but it's also just straight up considered a great movie by many, irrespective of the genre. Combine an iconic, taxing director, one of the most successful writers ever, and the biggest movie star of his generation, and you get The Shining. Here are 20 facts about Kubrick's film. Okay, let's do this. It was a quick turnaround of an adaptation. This is one of 20. Kubrick was not the only big name associated with The Shining. The movie is based on a book by none other than Stephen King. King's book came out in 1977, and the film came out in 1980, which means it was pretty swift timeline for the adaptation. I mean, you could probably even say that Stanley Kubrick played a large part in selling probably a bunch of copies of the novel The Shining. Stephen King needs to shut up. He really needs to shut up. Ooh, ungrateful asshole. Okay, quick turnaround. Yeah, I think I covered that in one of my prior videos, one of my Understanding the Shining videos, where we dealt with the like the arrival, the family arriving at the hotel. I think the video where I actually talk about this. But yeah, it was a quick turnaround, like really, really quick. The book had been out or published like barely a year, if that, when all the work started for preparing the movie, The Shining. Number 2, Kubrick was looking for a hit. How did Kubrick end up making The Shining? It all started with Barry Lyndon. Barry Lyndon was Kubrick's film that came out in 1975, and it had been a commercial flop. At this point, Kubrick decided he wanted to make a movie that could be a success at the box office, but still be fulfilling from a creative perspective. Okay. All right. I'll just take their word for it. The director went through a lot of books. That's also very interesting. This is number 3. Kubrick figured he should find a book he could adapt to create his hopefully successful film. King said that Kubrick was given a bunch of books to read to try and find one he wanted to tackle. The story goes that Kubrick's secretary got used to hearing the thud of a book being thrown after Kubrick tired of it. Eventually, she noticed there wasn't a thud and went to find the director engrossed in The Shining. I don't think anybody knows what he was looking for when he went through these books. He might have been looking not for a good book, but for a bad one. At least, maybe in his opinion. This is just my speculation. Make of it what you will. I could totally be wrong. I'm aware of that. But, I just don't see, this... I don't see Stephen King being this amazing writer. No. He's no William Faulkner, let's put it that way. He's no Shirley Jackson, one of his quote-unquote inspirations. Tankard, how you doing? Yeah, whatever. Let's keep it moving. That was number 3. Number 4, Kubrick wanted Nicholson from the beginning. Okay, It's hard to imagine anybody but Jack Nicholson playing Jack Torrance, the patriarch of the Torrance family who drives the horror of the film. Kubrick felt the same way, apparently, as Nicholson was his first choice for the role. That being said, other actors were considered just to be safe, including Robert De Niro. Oh my God, no. I can't see Robert De Niro in this movie. I don't know about y'all, but Robert De Niro, no, Harrison Ford, yeah, not him either. Han Solo and Indiana Jones as Jack Torrance, no. And Robin Williams, no. God rest his soul, but no, just no. I know Robin Williams was a great actor, but not for this role. No. However, none of those actors got a sign-off from King. Oh, really? So did King... There's something they're not telling us here. How much input did King have in the selection of the cast? Wow. Oh my goodness. There was another writer in the mix. This is number 5 out of 20. King wrote the book that became The Shining, obviously. On top of that, Kubrick was a writer on the screenplay. However, Kubrick isn't the only writer credited with the screenplay for the film. Diane Johnson, that's what a misogynist does, Stephen. That's what they do. They employ a woman to be the co-writer. Ugh. Diane Johnson also worked on the script. While she did not do much in the world of film, she was an accomplished novelist, and her book Le Divorce was adapted into a movie in 1997. Okay. Number 6 out of 20. The Grady twins aren't twins in the book. Okay, yeah. One of the indelible, creepy images of The Shining is the Grady twins, the 2 ghost girls that young Danny Torrance runs into in the halls of the Overlook Hotel. In the book, though, they aren't twins. They are referred to as sisters and are mentioned as being around 8 and 10. Kubrick cast identical twins for the role, and that changed everything. It sure did. It sure did. It sure did. Okay, when we get to that part of the movie, I'll talk about it, but they're right, it sure did. It changes everything. Okay, let's keep it moving. 7 out of 20, a lot of kids were considered for Danny. They didn't hire a known child actor to play Danny Torrance. Instead, Kubrick sent casting agents to Cincinnati, Chicago, and Denver to audition over 5,000 kids to try and find Danny. Why those cities? Because Kubrick wanted to find a kid whose accent would fall somewhere between Nicholson and Shelley Duvall. Well, that's interesting. Cincinnati, Chicago, and Denver. I didn't know they talked with a southern twang in Cincinnati, or Chicago, or Denver. 'Cause to me, Shelley Duvall, Wendy's character, sounds like she's straight out of, Texas? Like some dusty place in Texas. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But that's a very interesting factoid. Wow. Wow. Really interesting. Okay, a couple real hotels serve as the basis for the Overlook. This is 8 out of 20. When they say that New York City is a character in the movie, you might roll your eyes. But it is probably fair to say the Overlook Hotel is not unlike a character in The Shining. They didn't film at a real hotel, though. The establishing shots of the Overlook are actually the Timberline Hotel near Mount Hood in Oregon. Interesting. Meanwhile, the interiors, which shot on a set, were inspired by the Ahwahnee Hotel in Yosemite National Park. Okay. Alrighty. Interesting. Is that why there's no maze in the establishing shots? I mean, there's no maze because there's no maze. But we need to figure this one out, and we will. I know we will. You, me, me with my videos, you guys in the comments, whatever. We're gonna figure this shit out about this maze. I promise you. We're gonna at least we're gonna explore it very deeply. Maybe I shouldn't be so bold and say we're gonna figure it out, but here's number 9 out of 20. Kubrick used another filmmaker as an example for his cast. in order to try and give his cast and crew an idea of what kind of vibe he wanted for The Shining, Kubrick decided to screen David Lynch's cult classic Eraserhead for them. I think, Tankard, you told me about this, so here it is, right? Given that Kubrick went into the project saying that he wanted The Shining to be a commercial success, that seems like a rare choice. We also hope that Danny Lloyd, who played Danny Torrance, was not a part of the screening. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. I don't know why they're putting a picture. Oh, somebody help me. I've never seen Eraserhead, so I know it's a classic. I know I need to go get around to seeing it, but what is Joe Turkel, was he in Eraserhead? Y'all tell me, because I don't know. Anyway, that was number 9. This is number 10. Number 10 out of 20, the script was a work in progress. Okay. Here we are again in the Colorado Lounge. Okay, the Kubrick was known for his meticulousness as a director and for being demanding of his cast and crew. As such, he was not afraid to tinker with the movie as it went along. Kubrick was changing his shooting script all the time, sometimes multiple times a day. In fact, Nicholson got so frustrated he began tossing script changes away, knowing that they would inevitably be changed again. He ended up learning his lines right before saying them. That's interesting. The script was a work in progress. I wonder why. I really wonder why. This was the case. This is what was going on. The script was a work in progress. Okay. But what was he doing? Why? Obviously he was going for something. He was trying to achieve something when he made this movie. He wanted to keep the viewer guessing, I think. In my opinion. That's just my opinion. Maybe that's why he was doing all these changes, while filming, like it says here, maybe sometimes several times a day. Number 11 out of 20, Tankard, here it is. Duvall had it even worse than Nicholson. Okay. Duvall, like Kubrick, was particular about her craft. This did not lead to a great working relationship. As the director, and a man who was not afraid to throw his weight around, Kubrick had the upper hand in their battle. Duvall found the experience so stressful that she got sick while shooting, and her hair even began to fall out. Excuse me. I'm not even going to comment on this. This sounds kind of ridiculous to me, and that's it. I'm not going to say any more. This is number 12 out of 20. An iconic line was improvised. Okay. If one line stands out in The Shining, it's probably Jack's intense, maniacal, "Here's Johnny." That line was actually improvised by Nicholson. What's wrong with me? Nicholson. Lord, I'm telling you, these allergies are wearing me out. That line was actually improvised by Nicholson. It almost didn't make it. I'm sorry. It also almost didn't make the cut, as the British Kubrick. British? Are these people crazy? I didn't know Brooklyn was in the United Kingdom. What the hell? Oh, now they pissed me off. It also almost didn't make the cut, as the British Kubrick didn't understand the reference. Okay, this is ridiculous. This sounds like a fairy tale. This sounds like it cannot be based in reality. Who are they kidding with this one? Okay, now it's making me doubt the other ones a little bit. Oh, Lord. The British Kubrick didn't understand the reference. Seriously? Okay. Oh, and that was a real door that Nicholson chopped through, by the way. He had been a firefighter in his youth and knew his way around an axe. Interesting. But this British thing, oh, no. He knew about Johnny Carson, for God's sake. Come on. Lord, let me keep it moving. Lucky number 13 out of 20. Different versions of the typewriter scene are used in international edits. Okay. It's not uncommon for international versions of a movie to have little tweaks in terms of language and culture. For example, The idiom all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy does not necessarily resonate in other languages and parts of the world. As such, international versions got different lines there. In Germany, it's never put off until tomorrow what you can do today. Oh my God. In Spanish, it's no matter how early you get up, you can't make the sun rise any sooner. And so on. Okay. All right. Oof. Ridiculous. I'm not into it. Just you. I don't know why. That just you. Okay. 14 out of 20. A new technology proved vital to filming. Okay. Let's see here. Had they tried to make The Shining a few years sooner, it might have looked different. That's because the movie makes use of the Steadicam, something that film viewers are now used to. Back then, though, it had been used a half a dozen times or more, at most. The Shining was one of the very first films to ever use the Steadicam. Okay, cool. Here's number 15. Out of 20. Kubrick got his commercial success. Okay. Was The Shining a blockbuster? No. But it was enough of a success to be a hit. Kubrick made the film for $19 million, and its worldwide box office was $47 million. Sure, it didn't do as well as another 1980 film by the name of The Empire Strikes Back, but it was able to turn a profit. So these people are trying to tell us that 2001: A Space Odyssey was not a success. It was not a hit. Okay. Or A Clockwork Orange. Okay. Whatever. I don't know. I just don't know. Here's number 16. It took a while for critics to warm to The Shining. All right. And they put a picture of Jack freezing in the maze. Really. Kubrick didn't exactly make crowd pleasers a lot of the time, even when trying to make a commercial film. At first, the critical reviews were mixed on The Shining. Now, though, the movie is considered an all-time classic. So I guess we shouldn't trust film critics, should we? Just like Emma Bunker and all those other quote-unquote scholars, maybe we should just watch what we like and say, yeah, screw them. Let them talk. Just do what you want to do. Watch what you want to watch. Get what you want to get. No. Forget critics. AFI ranked it 29th on their 100 Years, 100 Thrills list, and it appeared on a couple more of those lists as well. Roger Ebert, who didn't love it when he reviewed it when it came out, put it into his The Great Movies series eventually as well. I don't know what to think of that. I mean, how do they change their opinions so drastically? Whether it's Roger Ebert or whatever other movie critic. When I don't know. The first time I saw The Shining, I loved it. The first time I saw Kill Bill, both volumes, I loved it. The first time I saw, what's another movie that I'm read? Full Metal Jacket. I loved it. Yeah. What is up with these people? I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. Let me just keep it moving. 17 out of 20. Ugh, him. There is one notable critic of the movie, though. Really. You know who has never been shy about voicing their dislike for The Shining? That would be none other than King. The author despises Kubrick's adaptation of his novel. He doesn't like how Kubrick portrayed Jack or Wendy, and also, to be fair, the novel was personal to King. Who cares? What is wrong with this man? What is wrong with Stephen King? He wants to tell all of his readers how to read his novel? Is he about to go that far? Oh, no, don't read it the way you read books. Read it the way I tell you to read it. You read the Jack character the way I tell you to read the Jack character. Read the Wendy character the way I tell you to read. Why doesn't he just have the novel come with an instruction manual on how to read it. That would solve a lot of problems, Stephen. Jesus H. Christ. Lordy, lordy, lord. I just can't believe it. He doesn't like how... Okay, all right. It was in many ways him working through the demons of his alcoholism. Again, I couldn't give a damn. So seeing the novel turned into a movie he didn't like was probably frustrating. Like, does this man just always get his way, no matter what? Is that what's going on with him? He just always gets his way, no matter what. And when he doesn't, oh Lord, no. I'm so glad that Stanley Kubrick, stuck it to him. I'm so happy. You go, Stanley. Interestingly, he was a fan of the TV miniseries of The Shining. I don't understand why. That TV miniseries does not look very interesting to me. I'm never going to watch it. Just like I'm never going to watch Dr. Sleep. Yeah, I'm stubborn like that. But Stephen King is really getting on my nerves in this, Oh no, he doesn't like the way they portray Jack or Wendy, and it's a personal book because he was working through the demons of his alcoholism. This makes me... this is a terrible thing for me to say, but I'm going to say it, and you all interpret it however you like. Okay, this man is supposed to be this Stephen King person. He's supposed to be a very prolific writer. And allegedly, from what I can understand or gather just briefly, most of his career he spent with serious substance abuse issues, including alcoholism. Now, I've heard of a functioning alcoholic, but how functioning can you really be if you're that bad? Is as far as drinking or whatever else you're doing, whatever other substance you're consuming. I think you know what I'm getting at. I won't say it all the way out loud, but I think you know what I'm getting at. What something doesn't make sense. I think the best thing this idiot could do is just keep his mouth shut. Because the more he talks, the more suspicious I get. And I know there are other people like me out there who recognize pretty quickly when shit don't make no sense. Moving on. Okay. There are a lot of... This is 18 out of 20. There are a lot of interpretations about what the movie... who wrote this? There are a lot of interpretations about what movie really means, and I thought I was a bad writer. Lord. Okay. There is a documentary called Room 237 that is dedicated to chronicling some of the theories about The Shining. A lot of people have a lot of ideas about what the movie is actually about. Perhaps the most famous of those is the theory that The Shining is Kubrick's way of admitting he staged the 1969 moon landing. Okay. I don't think there's much to say about that one. Let me just keep going. 19 out of 20, The Shining has inspired many a parody. Okay. The Shining is one of the most parodied movies ever made. You can catch references to the Grady twins or Here's Johnny all over the place. That being said, if we are talking parodies of the movie, we want to focus on The Simpsons. In one of their Treehouse of Horror episodes, they do a story called The Shinning. That is a straight-up parody of The Shining. It inspired its own iconic moment when Homer, quote-unquote, goes crazy. Okay. All right. Lord. There's a sequel to the movie. This is the last one, 20 out of 20. Many years after writing The Shining, King decided to write a sequel. Of course he did. In 2013, he released Dr. Sleep, which focuses on a grown-up Danny Torrance. That book was then adapted into a movie as well. Now, given the fact that Kubrick is no longer alive, and also given how King feels about the movie version of The Shining, it remained to be seen if Dr. Sleep would have anything to do with its cinematic predecessor. However, director Mike Flanagan explicitly said he was making a sequel to the Shining film, and that movie came out in October 2019. Okay, listen. This is blaspheming. This is wrong. What they did with his Dr. Sleep bullshit is wrong. Is wrong. Stanley Kubrick is not around to defend himself or contribute his opinion to anything. I assume he would be. I mean, I don't think he would make a big fuss, but you know, an insult is an insult. This is what Stephen King and this Flanagan person are doing. Really, you're making a sequel to The Shining? Really? Oof. Shameful. Shameful. And another thing is, this just shows you like how vindictive this guy is, Stephen King. He wrote this sequel, Dr. Sleep, the novel. He's been stewing for years and years. He doesn't know what to do with his rage. Nobody gives a shit because The Shining, the movie, is The Shining. It's Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, and nothing he could ever say or do will ever change that. He could scream his head off until the cows come home. Forever and ever and ever, yeah? Nobody's gonna give a shit. Nobody. Only people who are, for whatever reason, I don't understand it, but to each his own, only the people who might give a shit what Stephen King says are like those diehard fans of his books that have read all of his stuff, like he's, I don't know, like Harry Potter, or, there's people who are just really into Harry Potter, or, what's that other shit? Lord, what's the other one? Like a series of books that people were like just nuts about. Harry Potter, I know that was like a big one. Full-grown adults reading about like wizards and in a castle or whatever. I'm like, oh Lord, can you? I couldn't believe it. Just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. Whatever. And there was another one that I cannot remember at this time. But was it Dan Brown? Where people like, oh my God. And that same thing, at the time when that was going on, I was like, who gives a shit about Dan Brown and the Da Vinci Code? I couldn't understand why people were into it. I couldn't understand what all the fuss was about. I don't understand the fuss around Dan Brown. I don't understand the fuss around Stephen King. I don't. I just don't. Maybe I need to shut up. Whatever. But anyway, you guys, this is it. I went through these three. Gonna leave them in the description. Okay? I don't know what thumbnail I'm gonna use. Not this one. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, 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 no. 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 This... petty? Petty is not the word. Obsessed. To, like, an unhealthy degree. This guy is obsessed with... like Stanley Kubrick mangling his precious novel. Like, dude, he picked your novel because it wasn't shit. That's why. Like, can you get that through your thick skull, Stephen? This is all my opinion. I'm entitled to it. Anyway, this might be my thumbnail. Why the hell not? Huh? Anyway, you guys, I hope I haven't offended anybody, like, too much. But... that's the video for today. That's the rum break for today, tonight, whenever you're watching this. Thank you for being here. Once again, returning viewers, thank you for returning. New viewers, thank you for being new. Subscribers, thank you for subscribing. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the videos with emphasis on the likes. They help me, allegedly, apparently, I don't know, push me out into the algorithm. Like my stuff. Like I said, go on a liking spree. And that's that for today. I would love to know what you think. Put it in the comments. React to any of the articles that I shared or any of the things I said. I know I'm not right about everything. I know that. I know. But you know what? I have a right to be wrong. How about that? I'm not hurting anybody. I have the right to be wrong, and so do you. So, get in those comments. Let me know what you think. And until next time, you guys. I'm working on the Understanding the Shining series, part 10. Working on it. God help me. It's been a hell of a week. But until next time, you all. Until the next time that I find yet another reason to talk at you, I will go ahead and bid you bye-bye. So, bye bye, everybody.